At least the ones in your head. Especially when they tell you to do bad things.
Are you speaking from experience?
Yes. But we're not going to talk anymore about that.
I wish my wife would say that.
How's your day going so far?
It's a day, yeah. I know.
Put on the blinders, Alan.
Yeah, we're gonna get him a horse blinder set, right?
Yeah. He's gonna need the tooth bit too, I think.
The what?
The bit?
Oh, yeah. I can't really get on it unless if I take that ball off, or the trailer off.
Is it even the right size ball?
Yeah, it is. Because this is spinning and I don't have a wrench. And it doesn't really matter if it's tapped. Just go boom there and boom on the other side real quick.
Okay.
So question, any wrench that Allen uses, is it technically an Allen wrench? Right? That's a good one. We're starting a comedy show now.
Let's start a fire.
Let's start it.
All right.
Green, you got a lot of work to do.
I know.
Yeah, there's that under there, but more importantly, look at this right here. See how it's popped there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And-
they also broke the top.
And right here.
Oh, on the inner.
Yeah, see that top one? We're gonna have to, once you get this done, we're gonna have to clamp it down probably, or pound that down.
Yeah.
And this piece right there.
Pound Town.
Drivers, man. Hitting shit. Oh, it wasn't me! I didn't do that! What are you honking at me for?
There's no telling about the company I work for. They got damaged cables in it.
Listen to this guy.
I work for is all right.
You gotta get this comedian. We need to get him one of those
no,
red,
it was another cable.
those
that he
red
damaged.
noses.
You know, he damages
We'll put a
cables.
red
and-
nose
and
right
then-
on there and some
then
big
blames
feet,
it on
you know?
me. I don't know why, but I think this cable is fine. But I will see shortly.
Okay, plug it back in.
It's a loose nut behind the wheel, I think.
Well, getting ready to go out on tour again with Kenny Beats. Just finished with Revolution. Finished that, went straight to Burning Man. Once in history, we got rained out and I got stuck. Then I went with, who was it? Oh, just finished with the Used. Got in last night, leaving now. Turned the bus around, it's not quite ready, but I'm headed to Austin, go pick up Kenny Beats. It's a great time, been with Bordur Coach about 6 months now. Love them. Best of luck.
Yeah, here's our little service cart that we got for our weekend projects. Actually, Pete from Main Street RV, who's one of our buddies, he had this in his backyard for a long time, and we went and stole it from his house a couple weeks ago and said we're gonna get it going, and he said no problem. So one of our other customers, Johnny, that we did his coach remodel on, he owns an Easy Go store out in Yuma, and he said, hey guys, I think I have the perfect engine for that, because this used to be electric. I think it was 72 volts or something like that, electric car. And Johnny said he had a crashed Easy Go that he took in on some insurance deal or something like that. So he basically brought us the whole Easy Go cart, the wheels and the engine and all the components that we need to build this. So we ended up welding this in, or green weld this in, and we're modifying this thing. Even the fuel tank is gonna fit nicely in here. You know, it's like set up for kind of an angle over a wheel well like that. So we're gonna end up putting two probably 8D batteries in here in 24 volt setup configuration, so we can have a little jump box to start buses that are out in the yard. Put a little jumper post here and pull them out and hook it to the bus, jump start the bus if we need that out there. So yeah, this is gonna be pretty cool, just a little yard truck. Yeah, so here's the engine that came out of the bus that we're putting the brand new one in, or the rebuild. This, we pull it, we have a special cart, we pull it straight out with the transmission. The B500 Allison transmission comes straight out with it. As you can see, obviously we have all the alternators and stuff over here that we're gonna have to swap over to the new engine that came in. This harness is pretty shot on here, so we're gonna put all new harnesses that go to the Prevost side, as well as the engine that came already has all the Detroit side on it. Whoever did this, we're not quite sure what happened, but as you can see, this is an EGR engine, but they completely bypassed all the EGR valves and all that stuff. So I don't know if they were having trouble or what was going on with it, but everything's been bypassed. So we're gonna have to repipe all the plumbing that goes to the tranny cooler, and yeah, we'll probably send the tranny cooler out to make sure that it's got good flow through it. But yeah, once we get everything swapped over, then we'll slide this bad boy back in. I'll show you the broken part on it, but it doesn't look like anything's really bad on this thing. So we're gonna hook the fuel lines up right here. We're gonna run it, it's all self-contained. It has all its coolant system here. It doesn't have an external radiator or anything, so it's actually gonna be able to run just sitting here. We may stick it closer to the door, so when the exhaust comes out, it shoots outside. But we're gonna test that, make sure it runs good before we slide it back in the bus when it's time. Part of that fire, or it wasn't really a fire, it was smoke, or not smoke, steam damage is what actually caused all these issues with the bus. So when we pulled out the fuel tank to get to the wires up top to repair, actually the fuel tank goes right in here, and you'll see, so here's the fill, and there's a fill on the other side. You'll see what happened when that exhaust came off. It just completely melted his fuel tank, or one of his fuel tanks. There's two in this bus, but it completely melted that out. So it was sucking air, and who knows what else it was sucking down in there. But yeah, so that came out of this bay, and then this came out of the other bay. It came down from the bottom, which is the large fuel tank. And obviously you have your pickup tubes here and fuel senders and all that stuff. So we're gonna have to get this cleaned up. This tank is okay. The whole reason of pulling that was to get back in here, to get all the way up in here to these tubes. All right, so all these tubes and the wires right here was the culprit. See it? So this screws on to the generator, and this completely just broke off. And when that broke off, it blasted, it was probably about in this position right here, blasted all the heat up in this area and shot the heat over here, where right here is where that little fuel tank slides in, and just melted that hole in the side of it. And then obviously we have all these wires that need to be repaired, so we're gonna have to cut out some of the tubes and get in there and chop some of the wire out and, you know, repair everything because of the quote-unquote fire, or steam fire, right? Detroit Series 60 EGR, I believe it's a 2004 or 2005 emissions. And what we have here is we have our V-pods, right, which actuate the turbo. We also have our oil filters here, or filter housing, and coolant runs through here to keep it cool. Turbo. We have our water pump right here. Anyone know what this is called? Delta P sensor. Okay, we have our exhaust manifold, obviously. We have our accessory drive pulley, our harmonic balancer, our compressor, our ECM here, our intake manifold, and all the wiring. That's pretty much it. Oh, our fuel pump right here. How can we miss that off the back side of the compressor? But yeah, this is gonna be going in a coach. Basically, we pulled it in, it had tons of injector codes on it. It was the bus that was in the bus fire, and we advised the customer, you know, it's got like 800,000 miles on it. It's not even worth doing any injector work on that. Just let's put a new one in. And the guys over at American Fleet always help us out. So customer called them up, ordered it up, put his serial number on his engine, and here it is. That was awesome.
Edit that out.
You walked into it.